Okay, 6 o'clock. Good evening, everyone. It is 6 p.m. on Monday, January 8th, 2024. I'm going to call this regular meeting of El Campo City Council to order. We have everyone present, so we have a full quorum. Everyone would please rise for the pledges and the invocation. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
And Koblenz will deliver the invocation.
Our Father in heaven, we thank you so much for that we didn't have the severe weather that was actually forecast, that you spared us of that. Father, I thank you for this opportunity to get together as a community here at City Council meeting. We pray that you would just be with us, be in our midst. Father, that we would all work with humility, integrity, and that the decisions that we make, Father, that it would be according to your will. Pray for all of those who are less fortunate than us, those who are ailing. We pray for the health of this community. Father, I thank you so much for a community that cares about each other, and that you would just bless us and continue to bless us with prosperity. And we ask this all in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, next item is introduction, recognition, and proclamations. We have a 2023 Employee of the Year Award, Esmeralda Rangel. Esmeralda, I'll meet you at the podium, and your husband, and whoever, if he wants to come up.
If he wants.
He looks like the shy type. Whoops, sorry, grabbed the wrong sheet.
Yeah, you can give her that one too.
I can give her this one too.
There you go, Mayor.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Should have had my glasses on. Okay, it is with great pleasure that I inform you that Esmeralda Rangel is our Employee of the Year for 2023. Here are some of the comments we received in Esmeralda's numerous nominations. She's a team player. She is dependable and helps other departments with Spanish speakers when they need it. Overall, a good person to work around with a good attitude. Esmeralda has become a driving force in the utility billing department. She handled the conversion and training to Encode 10. She has worked hard to create new notes for each process to go along with Encode 10. Not only that, but she has worked towards making the park rental process flawless. Her reliability and consistency do not go unnoticed. Another comment, Esmeralda has worked hard this year, taking on a conversion in software. One of the things that impresses me the most is her willingness to stay as long as it takes to get the job done. For example, one Friday evening, she stayed until nearly 6 p.m. Courtney runs everybody out of here at 5, so I don't know how to finish printing bills without one word of complaint. She's also willing to come in on her days off so others can take off in a small department that matters. I've watched how well she handles customers, always friendly and explanatory, and she has a great rapport with the staff. Day in and day out, she must deal with irate customers, and yet she always has a great attitude. I've never seen her have a bad day. She's patient and thoughtful and has learned her role and the new technology in record time. Esmeralda is truly worthy of this honor. Esmeralda serves as our utility billing manager at City Hall and has been with the city since March of 2017.
Congratulations. Well done.
Yeah.
All right. Congratulations.
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 You have the box, too.
Thank you.
Yeah, y'all get a picture.
Okay.
That's great.
We're gonna
I'll be
make our
ambassador.
exits.
Courtney.
She's a mini me.
Get the chair. Get the chair.
You see what she's looking at?
Yeah.
Okay, ready? Thank you.
All right.
Okay, next is City Service Awards for city employees.
And we are not giving out physical awards because, as you can see, we don't have a number of these. We just wanted to take a moment to recognize these milestones of our employees, the 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, 25 years. And later tonight, we'll be honoring the individual that has 30 years with the city. You can see the list, one of them has 30 years.
Well, we owe a debt of gratitude to each team member that's listed up there. Okay, moving to public comments. At this time, any person with city-related business not scheduled on the agenda may speak to the city council. In compliance with the Texas Open Meetings Act, the city council is limited to making a statement of specific factual information in response to the inquiry or reciting existing policy, but may not discuss, deliberate, or take any action on any item. Each speaker will be limited to 3 minutes. The issue may be placed on a future agenda for consideration. We have one citizen has asked to speak. Shannon Crabtree, publisher of the Campo Leader News. Give your name and
I think she's going to ask you to accept our award. Am I right?
Can I send you a bill too? No, Mayor and Council, what I am here tonight to do is to hand out the latest version of Experience El Campo.
thank you.
And this was done in conjunction with the Chamber of Commerce and the City Development Corporation, also with input from the city manager and the city staff. And I really think that everybody will really appreciate this year's effort. And I really hope that everyone enjoys this particular edition. And this goes out to travel centers throughout the state. It's put out on all of our local entryways where people might be visiting the city.
Awesome, Mayor.
So I just merely wanted to present it to all of you and say that we are working along with the Chamber and the CDC in order to help spread the word about what El Campo is. And I hope all of you enjoy it. And thank you very much.
Thank you.
Very nicely done.
Thank you.
Nice.
Yeah, very nice work, Shannon.
Nice work.
Good job, Shannon.
See the article by the mayor in there.
There's an exceptionally good article on page 4.
That's our top sales pitch?
Yeah. Okay, thank you, Shannon. Okay, moving on to item 6, the consent agenda. One item, approval of city council regular meeting minutes of the December 11th, 2023 meeting. Someone like to make a motion?
I make a motion we approve the minutes of the consent agenda.
Okay, motion by Councilman Hodges. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Hancock. Any discussion? All in favor of approving the December 11th, 2023 minutes as presented, please raise your right hand. Okay. It's unanimous. Okay, moving on to items for individual consideration. Number 1, ordinance 2024-01, merging the Citizen Black Committee into the Campo Board, repealing and replacing Article 1.03, Boards, Commissions, and Committees, Division 4, Keep El Campo Beautiful Board in the Code of Ordinances of the City of El Campo.
She's trying to get a shot at you here.
Let me take my glasses off.
All right, Crystal, you're up to discuss this ordinance which merges the two boards together. It's pretty self-explanatory what we're requesting to do here. Take the Keep El Campo Beautiful Board and blend it with the Blight Committee. This would take the Keep El Campo Beautiful Board, and I'm sorry if I'm running into your presentation, from a 5-member board to a 7-member. Additionally, there would be, meetings would increase in frequency from biannually to monthly. And we've got a list on the next item of potential applicants for that board that we'll ask you to appoint if you approve this ordinance.
Well, Courtney hit all the talking points on that, so if you have any questions, I'm happy to answer them for you. This was mentioned at our last meeting when we discussed blight, and so this is one of our efforts to try to address blight and beautification hand in hand. So we're bringing it to you officially this evening to consider.
I'd like to say it's an excellent idea. There's a lot of overlap, duplication, so it's nice to merge them.
Has the present Keep El Campo Beautiful Board been meeting? Any
Not-
more than the Blight Committee has been meeting?
No, sir, no. But I've reached out to the committees and let them know that if they volunteered to be reappointed, that they would be a more actively engaged organizational group, and so they're all aware that that will change for them.
So they'll meet monthly and they pretty much have to attend. That's good.
That's correct.
And that'll be a good thing, meeting more often. Okay,
Mayor Barbie,
would somebody like to make a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve ordinance 2024-01 as presented.
Okay, motion by Councilman Ward. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Second by Mayor Pro Tem Bustamante. Any discussion?
How do we come up with when do we appoint the members?
Next item.
Next item, okay.
Yes, sir.
I couldn't remember if that was tonight or what we're going to do there.
Any other questions, comments? Yes, sir.
So in putting the two boards together, has there been some study done that says that we feel they're going to be, there's been apt to have results because of this, because it's an overlap like we're talking about, or is it because that they're going to be meeting more often that we should have more results? And is the question clear?
Of course it is, yes. So we didn't do an official study, but with the efforts that the blight fight addresses, in addition to what our designation under the Keeping Texas Beautiful organization as Keep El Campo Beautiful, if we merge the Citizen Blight Committee, which is an informally organized group, it's not in your ordinances in any way, if we merge them into the Keep El Campo Beautiful Board, it is, and so it sets rules and regulations for them. And then increasing the meeting time allows us to activate them more regularly, which means they can be more productive. And we're hoping that with the blight reduction and the beautification, some of the projects that we'll see will not just be trash collections. You'll see things like more yard of the month type activities, beautification related, looking for ways to make improvements to the community that aren't just going after blight. And so putting those hand in hand is what we're hoping will make it more efficient.
Yeah, that's what Mr. Smart referenced in his email.
Okay. And I'll just follow up one more thing with that. It's more of for my information. So each one of the people that actually said yes, they all understand they're going to be spending more time?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Thank you.
I would also add that we did adjust some of the language in the ordinance that you would be adopting approving this, so that if there are members who do not appear for 3 consecutive meetings, they're automatically vacated their seat, and then you all would be allowed to appoint a new member. So we're trying to make sure that we're getting very actively engaged folks on this board.
Okay. Anyone else?
So you have 7 members that are willing. You got a yes
The next item.
response from 7?
Yes, sir. So when we get to the next one, I can tell you, I can walk through the folks that have agreed.
Okay.
Anything else? Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve ordinance 2024-01, merging the Citizen Black Committee into the Campo Beautiful Board, repealing and replacing Article 1.03, Boards, Commissions, and Committees, Division 4, Campo Beautiful Board, in the Code of Ordinances of the City of El Campo. All in favor of that motion, please raise your right hand. Okay, motion passes unanimous.
As I understand it, this organization might be eligible for some state grants?
Yes, sir. Through the
That's great.
Keeping El Campo Beautiful designation with the state of Texas, it should allow us access to
Good
resources.
plan.
Okay, item 7.2, El Campo Beautiful Board appointments.
And on page 17, you'll see a list of the current members of both the Blight Committee and Keep El Campo Beautiful Board, and the list of the positions, as well as the terms, because as she meant, we're staggering these terms per what you just approved in the ordinance. So I would ask that you, when you're making these decisions, you notate whether they're 2 years or 1 year first. And then, as you can see on this list, there's 6 yeses from existing committee members. It looks like there's 7, but that's because Bill Smart serves on both committees, and so it's really 6 on here. And I don't know if you want to add anything to that or not.
Yes, so this is a list of everyone that did reach out. I did not get a response from a couple, but I did get confirmations of no availability from a few. If you would like to do the 6 that are on here and find an additional member, we have Mr. John Bieltz, who's in the audience here for every single one of your council meetings. He's currently on your building board, which is not a very active board. And I have asked if I could volunteer him from the stand for consideration as a non-existing board member if you wanted to fill that 7th spot with someone that did not, that wasn't already on this list.
John, you agreed to that?
Yes, I did.
I did ask Chris.
Thank you.
Well, I agree with that too, then.
Yes, sir.
So should we do 4 for 1 year and 3 for 2 years, or?
We have 4 for 2 years and 3 for 1 year.
Okay.
Some of these you will be reappointing in June.
And that's just the calendar of appointments. They can
Yeah.
be refreshed.
Yeah.
It can be reassigned.
Is that a mayor appointment or council?
No, this is council.
Yes.
Well, we almost need names to draw out of a hat or something.
So you do? I thought you
It'd
just,
be nice to have that, or,
I thought you just had 7.
well, out of this 7, we have to now appoint 1 year and 2 year terms.
Oh, well,
Do we need a motion? Or just the,
Yeah,
Yes, we'll need a motion, right?
you're going to need a motion to appoint.
first to appoint the 7.
Correct.
Okay,
But you can do it any way you want. You can do it by.
okay, so we're gonna need
And
a,
then each member per term. So, Mr. Mayor, I move that we appoint 6 yeses on this list plus John Belts.
a second?
okay, we have a motion by Councilman Hancock, second by Councilman Ward, that we appoint to the Keep El Campo Beautiful Board, Bill Smart, Drew Tidmore, Raquel Torres, Jim Van Antwerp, David Cremines, Andrew Longoria,
Bless you.
and John Biltz. Any discussion? All in favor of that motion, please raise your right hand. Okay, motion passes. We have a board. Now we need to decide who's going to do 2-year terms and who's going to do 1-year terms. You know, we could just take the first 4 yeses on that list and make those the 2-year term and the remainder a 1-year term.
That'd be, I'm sure that'd be fine.
Okay, does that?
I'll make that motion.
Okay. Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, motion by Councilman Hancock, second by Councilman Koblenz, that we appoint to a 2-year term on the Campo Beautiful Board Bill Smart, Drew Tidmore, Raquel Torres, and Jim Van Antwerp, and to a 1-year term, David Cremines, Andrew Longoria, and John Biltz.
Mayor, and then next year, those will be up, and there'll be a 2-year term, then we can reappoint
them
them?
to a 2-year term, yeah.
Okay.
Is that right?
Yes.
If they're willing, we can reappoint
6
them.
months.
Yeah.
Any other questions? All in favor of the motion and second, please raise your right hand. Okay, we have a new board.
You know, I think there's a lot of people, if I can make a comment, I think there's a lot of people in town, like on the Bees Committee and whatnot, that might like to attend the meetings. So maybe we could publicize those meetings and encourage the public to attend and put in their suggestions.
Good idea.
Thank you.
Mayor, might I add something?
Sure.
So the remainder of the people on the list, are they going to be notified that they're
They've
not?
been
on the-
contacted and didn't,
And I'll send an email tomorrow to everybody, just confirming who was appointed, so we'll make sure that they're informed.
And if any of them still want to be active, they can show up.
yeah.
You know, I don't think anybody will, I don't think this committee will deny anybody that attends their ability to make suggestions.
Agree. Okay, item 7.3, Resolution R 2024-01, authorizing an agreement with Brent Weed for a 5-year lease of 53.8 acres of land located at the old landfill site adjacent to County Road 303 in the amount of $1,350 annually, and authorizing the mayor to execute the agreement.
Mayor, I make a motion, we agree to resolution R 2024-01, authorizing the agreement with Brent Weed for a 5-year lease, 53.8 acres of land.
Okay? Motion by Councilman Hodges. Is there a second?
I'll second it. Go ahead.
Second by Mayor Pro Tem Bustamante. Any discussion, questions?
Just point out the lease will be on the same terms it was previously. I've reviewed that lease. We think there were no changes necessary for it, or we would have brought them to you. It'll be the same form of lease we used with them last time.
Okay, thank you. Okay, all in favor of the motion to approve Resolution R 2024-01, authorizing an agreement with Brent Weed for a 5-year lease of 53.8 acres of land located at the old landfill site adjacent to County Road 303 in the amount of $1,350 annually, and authorizing the mayor to execute the agreement, please raise your right hand. Okay? Motion passes unanimously. Item 7.4, Resolution 2024-02, authorizing the transfer of ownership of law enforcement animal Beamer to his handler, Mark Biscup, and entering into an agreement of transfer, and authorizing the chief of police to execute the agreement.
And I told you, Mayor, don't cry at this item. We were excited to put this item on the agenda because it's a really good, feel-good item, except for that we're losing a 30-year employee that was absolutely phenomenal and an honor to work with. This resolution will authorize us to transfer Beamer to his handler, and we're required to do so through the Texas Government Code.
Chief, would you like to come up and with Captain Biscup?
How old is Beamer now?
Just turned 12.
How's his health?
It's not as good as it used to be. His hips are his main problem right now. It's the only reason why I didn't bring him up today. The storm coming through, I had no way to safely transport him up here. He no longer can jump because of his hips. I've had to build a ramp into his kennel to make him get in there. He's just like everything else.
He might enjoy going to school.
Yeah, he loved going to school, but the floors are so slick, I can't take him to
Oh,
school
okay.
because it's a bad thing for his hips.
No good luck with him.
But he's living life.
Good.
when we leave here, we'll go to Whataburger, eat him a double meat bacon cheeseburger. And he'll no longer be on a strict diet. He'll just live a happy life. We'll take him to the bay with us and stuff, and so.
Oh, that's
He's
awesome.
retired.
Well, this is a happy thing to do.
I had labs a long time too, and that's a long life for a lab,
Yes,
12
sir,
years.
It is, and especially with his work history, as much as he did and what we asked of him to do. He was great. I was blessed. Blessed.
And I can say on the record that Mark Biscup retired after 30 years. I've got his award here for 30 years service to the city, and he does not have hip problems.
No.
He can walk and jump and all of that.
Well, I want to present this to you on behalf of the city.
Oh,
I also, would just informational wise, you know, Mark took a job with the private school, St. Philip's, and they've got close to, I think, we talked the other day, I think it was close to almost 400 staff and students there. And so as he retired, I'm always looking for, you know, the positive. We lost him. I was upset because he brought a lot to us. But what I've decided to do is he's going to remain as a non-paid commissioned police officer with us, so that while he's over there working for them, he'll also have the authority of peace officer. So it allows us now to basically get a free police officer at another campus for the city. We won't be paying him, but we will let him train with us and do all these other things, and as long as he wants to remain, and the schools agree to it. So I think it's a really good thing for the city, and it's a special thing because you don't do that with just anybody, but I think his history with the city and our ability to have that extra security at one of our schools at a very reasonable rate of zero almost. But I want to thank him and of course Beamer for all the years of service. Both of them, you couldn't ask for better people or a better animal. And I want to thank you right here.
I appreciate that very
Mayor, I'd like to say something. I've got a grandson at St. Philip's, and I'm so grateful that you're going to be there.
Yes.
Thank you, Mark.
Look, I see him every day. I just want to tie off what you said, that I didn't leave the city or the police department because of any other reason other than the opportunity that was given to me at the time. It was just bad timing, in my opinion. But who's to judge God's timing? I didn't jump into it very lightly. I wanted to see that it wasn't just a coincidence that things fell into place, and there were three things that fell into place that just simply was God telling me to make a move. And I did, and I've been blessed ever since. I love them. I love working with the kids and the students and the staff, and the parents are great. But I enjoyed my 30 years here with the city. Reason why I didn't leave, because they were always supportive. The community, city council, the manager, the city manager, the mayors were always supportive. And I was always offered a dog. I was fortunate to have three of the greatest police animals that ever walked this planet, in my opinion. And I'm just blessed. My daughter Tori is up here with me. And bless her, she was here to witness this. But thank you all so very much. I appreciate you, and God bless.
Thank you.
Mark, I'll tell you what I tell all employees that leave. It was a privilege and honor to serve with you. Thank you for your service to the
Thank you.
city of El Campo.
Appreciate it.
Need Kleenex?
No, almost.
I made it.
You did.
We still need to vote on that.
Yeah, we still need a motion.
You have a motion and a
Oh,
second.
sorry.
Mayor Barbie?
Okay. Well, we've already had
Do we have a
them.
motion?
No, we haven't.
Sorry, I thought.
I'll make a motion that we approve resolution R 2024 -02, authorizing the transfer of ownership, law enforcement animal Beamer to his handler.
I second.
Okay, motion by Councilman Ward, second by, you've been so quiet over there, what's your last name? To approve Resolution R 2024-02, authorizing the transfer of ownership of law enforcement animal Beamer to his handler, Mark Biscup, and entering into an agreement of transfer and authorizing the chief of police to execute the agreement. Any questions or comments? All in favor of that resolution R 2024-02, please raise your right hand. Motion passes unanimously. It's good to know that Officer Beamer's going to live out his life in luxury.
And he's going to get a double meat Whataburger.
Going to get him a water. Man,
Cheeseburgers, huh?
okay, item 7.5, resolution R 2024-03, approving a joint election agreement and election service contract with Wharton County Elections Department.
It's that time of year. We're entering in election season. This is one of your first steps to approve this contract, the Wharton County Elections Department, to hold our at-large election and our charter amendment election in May. If you have any questions, Kaylee Cudelo will be happy to answer them.
Do you have any candidates?
Filing doesn't open until January 17th. I believe we will.
Mayor,
Yes.
I move to approve resolution 2024-03 as presented.
Okay, motion by Councilman Barger. Is there a second?
Mayor, I second the motion.
Second by Councilman Koblenz. Any questions or comments? Okay. Being none, there's need a vote on approving resolution R 2024-03, approving a joint election agreement and election service contract with Wharton County Elections Department. All in favor, please raise your right hand. Okay, motion passes unanimously. Item 7.6, award Public Works road materials bids.
You'll notice this is a 6-month bid for road materials. We use this throughout our seal coating program and sometimes when we're patching things. This bid is only for 6 months because the market is so volatile. And we were told by bidders that it wasn't advantageous for us to go out longer. So we will be back. Here are the lowest bidder on each item. And if you have any questions, Renee or myself will attempt to answer them. Unfortunately, Kevin could not make the meeting tonight.
Okay, would somebody like to make a motion in regard to awarding Public Works road materials?
I make a motion, Mayor, to award the Public Works road materials bids.
Okay.
To who?
Well,
Could you
it
specify?
is, though,
Sorry,
it's-
that's my fault.
Yeah.
Okay, so
I guess
as
we need to take it one
highlighted,
at a time.
Actually, if you want to
As
accept the
highlighted.
lowest bidder, you could say to all lowest bidders listed in your motion, and that would do a blanket. And I
Okay,
think
Mayor,
that's what staff's recommending.
I make a motion to award Public Works road materials bids as recommended and highlighted in yellow on this. Is that good?
And those highlighted recommendations are the lowest bid. Is that what you said?
That's what I said.
Yes, that'll work.
Okay, do I have okay, Koblenz, do I have a second to that motion?
Second.
Second by Councilman Hancock. Any comments?
I've got a couple.
Okay,
Some of these items don't have their individual bids. You know, there's no other bidders. For instance, Frank Marks. Did we try to, I mean, in order to get more, do we have to rebid it?
How do you think we should?
No, I'm just asking why we only had one.
This seems to be a frequent occurrence where we only receive one on these.
It's a typical respondents and always, yeah, it's and the same, basically the same lowest bidder. It's a pattern. It's the same in Trap Rock being, yeah, there were some significant increases, but nevertheless, that's why we went with the 6-month one. Trap Rock was the one thing that was probably the highest thing. Kind of segueing out into the number. But anyway, yes, it's the same pretty much the same response each time.
Yeah, we open bid it like as required, and unfortunately, we're just not seeing a lot of activity. I don't know if we're large enough.
Okay, that leads me into my second, or my comment. Do we have an interlocal agreement with the county?
We do not have one on file right now, but we are actively looking to get into one.
Well, I would encourage that, especially for something like this, where we can go in as a group and possibly have a larger bid base, where that it would maybe get us more advantageous pricing or get more bidders to the process.
Can we presume that the city staff has looked at these single bids and presume that they're in the ballpark of what the market is for those items?
Yes, sir.
Okay, any other comments? Okay, we've had a motion and a second to award the Public Works Road Materials bids to the lowest bidders as presented. All in favor of that motion, please raise your right hand. All against, raise your right hand. Motion passes 6-1. Okay, Item 7, City Development Corporation Infrastructure Grant, Project Fancy in the amount of $150,000.
And as Carolyn's making her way up to the podium, no, take your time, Carolyn. I will just read the narrative very briefly. The CDC board unanimously approved an infrastructure grant of $150,000 for the relocation of sewer lines for Vaquero Ventures new development in October. This project cost over $1 million, and this line will also service additional businesses.
Do we know what part of town that line will be in?
It's-
Is it a new area?
No, sir.
It's on a vacant lot between, I mean, this is, you have to know this, between Paradigm Nursing and Dollar General on a vacant lot.
It's the lot that's got the white
Yeah, it's got all the
You
sewer
can see
stub outs all over it.
pinouts sticking out of it.
Okay.
Right now, there are 3 lines, and Jerry can correct me if I say any of this wrong. I verified everything with Kevin. There are 3 lines that go, it's hard to explain. This is the lot, and the lines do this, and there's 3 of them. And so what they're going to do is put in 180 feet of line that will service both this lot and then come and service Paradigm also. So instead of the sewer line getting just past Dollar General and making an angle, I'm correct, it'll be straight, and then to Paradigm.
Would it be undevelopable without this shift?
Oh, yeah, you can't.
Because it bifurcates the
Right.
whole lot, right?
You can't build on that lot with those wastewater lines where they are right now, because you would be building on top of city lines.
Oh, I see what you're saying, yeah.
Mayor, I have a question. So, Ms. Callen, why can't we know what kind of business we're supporting with this?
This is a developer that's going to build a building and bring a tenant in, and the tenant is a national franchise that wants to tell their own news. We see that occasionally. I can tell you it's a retail business, I can tell you it's a national franchise, I just can't tell you who it is. And they've asked me not to.
Okay.
Now, I think, Ronnie, if we were to go into closed session, then I could disclose more information to you, but I can't publicly announce that they want that right.
Can you tell me why it's called Project Fancy?
Beverly came up with that name. I did. We
David,
always try to come up with
I know what the
interesting
project
names.
is because I'm ex officio on the CDC board, and I've been trying to figure out where Fancy came from.
Beverly.
Can't figure it out either.
Yeah,
Dave?
Beverly.
Of course, you know I have the standard question. So you're saying it's a retail, so that's a type B project, it's not a,
No, because infrastructure for retail and commercial is an allowable type A project, according to local government code.
okay. but we are organized as a type A. We're,
Right,
right.
right.
But this is once again a retail, we're going into retail, we're not going back into what our focus is as a CDC. All right, so my next question is, what's the return on investment? How long will it take us to get this $150,000 back so that we can deploy it again, whether it be sales tax or property tax?
Well, they're investing $1 million in the building, and they're going to create 3 shifts of 5 to 8 employees per shift. Everything they sell is going to have a sales tax on it. They are going to be paying ad valorem taxes on that location. So,
Okay.
as far as a timeline, I have no way of being able to estimate that.
Well, there should, well, okay. So basically, a $150,000 investment at the quarter of a cent is going to take $60 million in new taxable sales
Okay?
to get that 150,000 back, which is a 20% increase over our current taxable sales. The second thing is, if we use it by the property at 40 cents a hundred, it'll take us 37 and a half years to receive that. Now, obviously, it could be less than that, that the value goes up. But, so I guess where I'm going is that's a significant amount of time that we're taking money away, especially for, as Councilman Copeland's mentioned, that we don't really know what it is. You answered the reroute of the sewer lines, is that city utilities, or is that?
Yes.
That's the city utilities, okay.
It's a service, it's a city service line, the main line.
Okay, so that's our responsibility though, correct? Or, well,
Our responsibility is to get to the property line.
yes. So it is to the property line, so they currently have city services at
Yes.
the site. Okay. And then my last question, and I'll leave it at this, is, are there any clawbacks? Meaning, they build the facility, they get the certificate of occupancy, and then they sell it, or it closes? Is there any clawback to us getting the money?
Always. We have to have a performance agreement with every project we do.
But not just, it's not just that they have to get the occupancy, I'm saying.
No, that's to get funding.
Right.
To get the funding, they have to get their certificate of occupancy. So I know they don't own the property right now. They have it under contract. And in order for them to get the funding from the CDC, and this was in the motion that the board made, they have to get their certificate of occupancy on the building for the tenant, and they have to present the CDC like any other project we fund with invoices and proof of payment of those invoices, front and backs of checks, et cetera.
But there's nothing that would go that if they say they did everything, they met all the criteria, we handed them a $150,000 check, and then they decided to sell the project to someone else or the building to someone else, meaning we basically, they use that money to financially benefit themselves.
Well, I mean, that could be put in the performance agreement.
Well, I'm just.
But you always have to have a performance, it's required by statute, Ronnie will back me, I think, on this, on any project with type A or type B funds, you have to have a performance agreement.
Okay.
And the performance agreement has 4 or 5 things that have to be in it, and the clawback is one of them.
But the funds aren't to make this project financially viable. It's to relocate lines on a undevelopable property on our corridor. Is that correct?
The developer says that to make the deal cash flow, they've got to have this support from El Campo to help with the infrastructure relocation.
If it wasn't for the CDC, the city would probably have to do it.
Or we wouldn't get the project.
But we're paying 15% of the project. If it's $1 million project and we're putting $150,000 in, that's 15%.
Yes, sir.
This I'll say it and I'll be done with it. This feels like the biodiesel plant, this feels like the rail park. You got to trust us and it will come. So, I understand the challenges of economic development, I really do. But I've also learned over the past 4 years what's required and what we have to do to protect our investments. And unfortunately, we lost $205,000. We're out $400,000 on a rail park. and now we're going to go forward with 150,000. We've done our part. We provided the water and sewer to the site. The developer, in my opinion, to be part of the equation. But I'm one vote, and I'm one person.
I've got a question about the jobs. What kind of pay, are these minimum wage jobs or good
No,
jobs?
No, they're $10 to $12 an hour. They,
That's not a living wage.
18 to 25 jobs, averaging 5 to 8 employees per shift. And the payroll estimate,
They're going to have a hard time filling those jobs with $12 an hour.
all of our businesses are having a little bit of trouble with that at this time.
I wonder if they get employees at that place.
They do offer full benefits, pay, bonus benefits, retirement savings, stock opportunities, and then a college achievements program.
Carolyn, I don't know if it's worth noting that this particular developer has been working with us lately and could potentially develop more property within the city because they're notorious for developing property that becomes fast food, retail, restaurants, all of those kind of things.
They are also a company, they're a developer, Vaquero Ventures, from Fort Worth, that is at ICSC in Las Vegas and at Red River ICS International Council Shopping Centers in Dallas also, with booths. Do these kind of projects all over both the country and the state of
So
Texas.
we're not dealing with a franchisee is my point. We're
No,
dealing
no,
with
no, no.
a seasoned developer that could potentially bring more opportunity.
Exactly. This is like a pop shelf. The company that built the building that then leased it to Dolgen Corporation for the pop shelf. It's the same kind of situation.
Any other questions for Carolyn?
It was unanimous vote for the CDC?
Yes, sir.
Is there any way, I don't think our agenda is worded correctly to have an executive session to reveal the name of the company for council, is it?
You can go into closed session at any time. That you want on any
I
of
would
them that
feel
you
more
want to.
comfortable doing
I
that.
would too.
Yeah, if you have a, I mean, as long as we have a,
Okay.
it's to discuss economic development negotiations, which is an authorized purpose to go into closed
And
session.
we could do that now?
You can. Yes, sir.
Okay, well, it's 6:48 PM. I'm going to adjourn this open session briefly. Don't run off, people, because we won't be here long. We'll reopen.
Could you state the
Yes,
number
we-
we're going in for?
551-087.
It'll be for purposes of economic.
Okay, we're going to go into executive session at 6:48 PM, as authorized by Section 551.087, Economic Development. Thank you.
Do you want me to step out and come back
She can sit tight,
or
right?
stay?
I'm gonna have you stay.
Okay.
You know more about this project than I
Are
do.
you going to stay?
Are you recording? Then we're good. We'll know.
If I really wanted to know, I would probably look up Carol and back tracing.
Okay, it is 7 PM. We are leaving executive session and returning to open session. We were discussing the City Development Corporation infrastructure grant for Project Fancy in the amount of $150,000. Someone like to make a motion?
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to approve the $150,000 expenditure by the CDC pending their development agreement.
You say
Performance agreement.
Performance agreement, excuse me.
Okay. Okay, motion by Councilman Hancock. Do I have a second?
I will second.
Second by Councilman Barger. Any discussion? Okay, all in favor of the motion to approve the City Development Corporation infrastructure grant for Project Fancy in the amount of $150,000, subject to the performance agreement, please raise your right hand. Those against, raise your right hand. Okay, motion passes 5-2.
Thank you very much. And as soon as we get the performance agreement hammered out with them, I'll get a copy to y'all. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Carolyn. Okay, now, guess what?
Report, Mayor.
City Manager's report.
You'll be glad you stayed for this one, I can tell you that. We're opening filing on January 17th. I mentioned that earlier. So come on up here and get your packets, you two that are at large. MLK Day, the service for that is on Sunday, January 14th at Mount Olive Baptist Church on Olive Street at 2:30 PM if you are interested. Miss Gloria Harris asked me to relay that to the council. And city offices are closed on Monday, however, trash will run with a sigh of relief as regularly scheduled. And that is all I have for you this evening before we go into closed session again.
Okay. Yeah, Mrs. Harris also asked me to invite the council to that, and I told her I would be there. Okay, it is 7:03 PM. Sure. And we are going to, should we take a break before we do that?
Your call, Mayor, it shouldn't
Okay,
take
we're
long.
going to take a 5-minute break.
It's 7-0 Michigan right now.
Listen, this isn't going to take long. Wait, Chief Marcaro will know.
No, he didn't. I asked him earlier.
I never got anything on it. He was asking me.
Not aware of it.
Yeah, it's supposed to be tomorrow, but we normally get an email.
What is
I didn't
that?
get anything.
What?
I don't know.
Let me find out real quick.
Yes, because
While we're in
we
session.
normally have to go up to Sugar Land to babysit tomorrow, on Tuesdays, but my son is at the NCAA championship tonight, flying drones for the Houston Police.
Really?
That's incredible.
That's great.
see them
within-
flying all
Okay.
over the place there. This border patrol flying those drones.
Yeah.
Looking for illegals and drugs.
Okay, we are going to close this open meeting at
7:06.
7:06 PM and go into executive session pursuant to Texas Local Government Code, Section 551.074, Personnel Matters, Planning Director. And should I go ahead and do both items? Okay. We will have, following that item, we will remain in closed session pursuant to Texas Local Government Code, Section 551.072, deliberation regarding the purchase, exchange, lease, or value of real property, project recycle. Okay. Okay, it is 7:22 PM. We are leaving executive session and returning to open session. Under item 1, 9.1, closed executive, well, item number 1, personnel matters, planning director. Do I have a motion?
Mayor, I move to accept the city manager's recommendation as presented.
It was presented and closed, so can you state it in the motion, I'm sorry, of Crystal? Make her
I
the-
move to,
Make Crystal.
Crystal
Hasselmeyer
Hasselmeyer.
full-time planning director as presented by.
I'll second.
There you go.
Who's the second? Hodges?
Mr. Hodges.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor of the motion to promote Crystal Hasselmeyer from interim planning director to planning director, please raise your right hand. At the same salary at this time, please raise your right hand.
Mayor.
Congratulations, Crystal.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
7-0 vote. We're glad to have you on board. And as far as the Project Recycle, the executive session item 2, there will be no action tonight. That finishes the agenda, so we stand adjourned at 7:24 PM.
Inquiring minds want to know, is there a copy of the cops?
Like, who shot most of those ducks today? You or Brian?
Absolute despise.
I saw him shoot one or two.
I just can't stand them.
Did your guys hit anything, or just y'all two?
No, there were some guys on the edge.
Sorry.
Started up